Hi there, I just wanted to do a short video on downward dog options and modifications and some of the things that I've learned along the way to come into downward dog in a way that works for my body. So I've got a disc protrusion in my lower back and tightness in the hamstrings. So quite a common injury, lower back problems, tightness in the hamstrings. So I'll just talk us through a way in which I come into downward dog, some things to be aware of, and also a modification to downward dog. So we'll start off with the modification. So if we're on all fours, we're going to come into puppy pose. So I'm keeping hips above the knees. I've got my knees are they're a bit wider than hip width. I'm walking the hands away. So my arms are straight, shoulder width apart and parallel, and I've got my head between my arms. So depending on tightness in the shoulders, the head might be a bit above and you're pressing the hands into the mat, or maybe you're in line. So from the fingertips to the waist, I'm in a downward dog pose. The only difference is that the knees are down. So fingers are spread, pressing the palms into the mat and lengthening the spine long. So if you really struggle with downward dog, coming into this position, we'll walk the hands back towards us and press up, come back to all fours. Coming in and out of puppy pose as you would do in a sun salutation is a little bit more clunky than being in a normal downward dog. So just something to bear in mind, but it's worth taking the time to come in and out of downward dog in a sun salutation if downward dog is really challenging for you. And it's one of those postures that we often see on a magazine, and we see it in this perfect, say, upside down V shape, but it can be for a lot of people a really challenging pose. And for me, it was a posture that I really struggled with for many years, and I still struggle with it now, but I'm slowly getting a little bit of length in the hamstring, get some flexibility in the back body to help me come into a downward dog. So we'll come into a downward dog. So from an all fours position, I've got the wrists below the shoulders and knees below the hips. So some of us are quite happy to come into downward dog from here. Others, you might feel that you'd like to step the hands forwards. So we've either got the wrists below the shoulders, or you're stepping the hands forward slightly. So I'm going to curl the toes under. So I'm lifting the knees, and then I'm starting to press through the hands to press the bum back. So as I'm doing this, pressing the bum towards the ceiling, I'm allowing the head to hang. So you can see I've got this bending my leg. So if I took the bend out, the shoulders move forwards. And I'm kind of between a downward dog and a plank. So I often say to people, if you're struggling in this position, try taking that bend in the legs and then re-pressing through the hands to press the bum back, allow the head to hang. Feet, a minimum of hip width, so nice wide stance. And that's also quite helpful for lower back problems, compression in the lower back. And then I'm going to come back down, so I'm going to pop the knees back down onto the mat. So when we're coming into it, we've got that action of lifting the knees and then pressing through the hands. So I'm pressing the bum back towards the ceiling, the head's moving between the arms, and then I'm allowing the head to hang. Fingers are spread, a gentle clawing action into the mat, pressing through the hands, through the fingers. So you feel that stretch down the side body into the armpits, through the spine, pressing the bum towards the ceiling, and then coming back down again. So there's puppy pose, also coming into downward dog, and it might be that you're comfortable for the first few downward dogs in the class, and then it becomes more challenging because you've become fatigued, and then you can always come back into that puppy pose. I'd always suggest taking that modification and not worrying about what everybody else is doing, worrying about you feeling comfortable in the posture and taking those modifications if you need to. So that's just a quick video on downward dog, and no doubt I'll do more videos on downward dog in the future. Thank you for watching. Namaste.